Okay, so we'll tear one up here. I usually don't mess around with the housing market.
And
We'll give
welcome
it a
back.
go.
It's Jason Walter here, and here's your latest housing market update. The number of people submitting loan applications for home purchases has dropped to the lowest levels since the spring months of
Back to that.
2020. This is according to the Mortgage Bankers
Oh,
Association,
it's
or
a
the
little
MBA.
dirty.
They actually just
But as
released
far
this
as the
today at
house
the time of
map
this video.
inside of
So I hope
town,
you guys get a lot of value out of today's video.
there's some real
And of
estate
course, if you
sector
haven't
inside
subscribed
here.
already, then please do so. I
Now,
post the latest
given to
housing
some of those
market
other
updates
maps
so you can make a
about
more
what the
informed
business
decision
models
about where you
are,
should buy
where
or sell
those
a house.
business are,
And by the
who
way,
knows
speaking of buying
this,
and selling a
who's
house,
the
check
director
out
of
that link
information
below, which is
technology in town,
colemonmoney.com/Jason to get connected
the
with a great
director,
real
where
estate
is
agent
that
in your neck of the woods.
pin chip
So with that said,
in
let's
the
go ahead and dive right into the
configuration,
video.
because
This
they
is
are going to
according
get
to the
into
Mortgage Bankers Association, or the
what's
MBA.
the
They
again
posted this
the
on the
utilities
25th of
inside
May.
of here, the
So
grocery
mortgage
store, the
applications
school.
decreased 1.2% from
Okay,
1 week
you're gonna
ago.
have some
This is
hard
for the week
posts
ending
depending
May
on
20.
whatever.
As you
This is
guys all
just
know, if you
loose
follow the
lit
channel,
E2, right?
total
You
mortgage
put yourself at
applications
E2,
are broken
which
up by
is
refis and also
8 by 8, 8
purchase
by 8, 8 by 8.
applications.
But it's gonna be
Home
rough
buyers
to scale.
submit loan
Valentine Rabbit.
applications in order to get a loan
Not
to
too
buy a
salty,
house.
not too
So
sharp
no
to be beat
surprises
up,
here, the
running
refi
around in here
index
checking
decreased
rabbits.
4%
It's like
from
this
1 week
is
ago,
the
and
terminal
also fell big time,
on
75%
certain
compared to
quadrants,
the same week
areas,
1 year ago.
probability,
Of course,
insets.
because mortgage rates are about
What is it, scalar
2
fields,
percentage points
right?
higher
Okay,
now
so
compared
that
to
kind
1
of
year
makes
ago.
sense in terms
Of
of
course,
the
it
real
makes sense
estate in
that
the
we're
area.
seeing a lot of
Having,
people submitting loan
there's
applications
up
for
in this
refis.
area right
So
here,
we should
this
be
is
focused on
housing,
is
town.
purchases, though.
This is
So
the
their
main
unadjusted
area.
purchase
Out from
index
here, there's not a lot of
decreased
nothing. There's
1%
just out
compared to
here
the
on this
previous
road
week
for
and was
the water
16%
treatment
lower
plant, what
than the same
is
week
down
1
here in this
year ago.
general
And by the
quadrant,
way, this
and
is generally during the time of the
close
year
enough
where
to
our
the
housing market
cubics
should
to
be in
square
full
everything
swing.
off
This is
to
the end of May, which
everything. It might be
in
out here.
general, our
You
housing
could
market really takes
do
off
whatever,
in
scale it out.
April through June of each year. So interesting to see
So
how we're seeing a decrease
if you scale
in the
out like
purchase index
that,
compared to
not
1
necessarily
week
say
ago
that that's a
and also
perfect
1 year ago. So
idealization, but
Seeking Alpha's Memorial Day sale. Build a winning portfolio with
in the
50% off
neighborhood,
Seeking
let's say.
Alpha's.
So Joel Kahn, who's one of the
In the
NBA's
area
vice
operation.
presidents, had this to say: the 30-year fixed rate,
Which
30-year
gets us
fixed
back to
mortgage,
fix
declined
your
for the
rates to
second
this
straight
map,
week to 5.46%,
doing some
but
fancy
remains
magic
well
in this
above what
general
borrowers
area
are used to
operation
over
about,
the past 2
okay,
years.
so in these areas
Most
it's going to be some
refinance
housing. It'd be
borrowers
hard to park
continue
one
to
out
remain
here
on the
unless one of these
sidelines
roads
as a result, of course,
grow into
and
somebody's
refinance
property
applications
line
have
in this
fallen in
area,
9
given
out of
its
the last 10
value. Of
weeks.
course,
He brings
a lot
up a
of
very
these
valid point because
numbers
home buyers, in
and
my
rabbit
opinion, are used to
and
rates around
probability,
3%
okay, so
because
in the
we've had that
eval
over the past couple of
on
years.
everything
So here's
here,
the latest we have
not
from
only is the
Freddie
house
Mac.
worth the
They actually
thing,
have a
but
really good
generally
website
there's
here
that. And
that
there's
shows
also, I
average
say, like, well, if you're
30-year
going to do
fixed rate
security
mortgages since
on
1971. So
other
as you can see here
lines
from
and do
2021,
electricity and
for the entire year, the
water,
average
main
rate was
main roads, toll
2.96%.
roads,
1
or
year ago in
however
2020,
you're
it
kind of
was
stationed in that
3.11%.
railroad track
And right
area or
now for
whatever.
2022, for the month of April, we're at
Copper.
4.09%. So basically a gain of 2
This area
percentage
right
points
here,
since
Arizona or something.
2020.
Of course,
So,
then you're going to
people
get
have been used to
into
rates around
the
3%
school
over the past,
districts out in
2
these
years,
areas right
2021
now
and
about
2020.
changing
Now
some of
rates are
these
over 5%,
things,
and
and
that's
of
really
course,
impacting
you know,
activity. And by the
COVID.
way, just for fun, look at the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage in 1982. The average was 16.04%.
There's a couple of different kinds of it, really.
In 1981, 16.63%
Now, I'm data
for
dogging
the average
hard, and
30-year fixed rate
obviously
mortgage.
some
It's
fine
absolutely
tech that it
insane.
turns
Obviously,
into,
home
taking
prices
some
were a
data
lot
dog
cheaper
logging.
back then, but this really is a rate
Some
we'd
Timber
see
Saw
for
Goldman
credit
Sachs
cards right
case
now.
out
Pretty
there.
crazy, 16.63%. Also,
Building
rates
a house,
were above
carpenter?
10% for many years. So going back to 1990, so basically 1982.
And again,
to
if
1990,
you looked at it
the
kind of
average 30-year
cross-sideways
was
just a
over
little bit,
10%.
this thing
And
fast
speaking
enough
of
can
mortgage
do a
rates,
lot,
here's the
right?
latest
You know
we have
what I'm
from the Mortgage News Daily. As you guys all know, we reached levels we have not seen since approximately 2008. At the beginning of May of this year, when the average was at 5.64% for a 30-year
Wow.
fixed. But as you guys can
Didn't
see
scale.
here, mortgage rates have been more or less falling ever since then. So right now rates are approximately 5.27%. So
You
in
had
other
to build
words,
a house
mortgage
out
rates
there.
have
Let's say
decreased by
Shangri-La.
approximately 0.4 percentage points in the past 3 weeks. In any case, going back to
Maybe,
this
brother.
report from the
Maybe.
MBA, Joel Kahn went on to
The
say
heart
the
of the mountain.
following. Higher mortgage rates are also impacting purchase market conditions as the
Where you gotta go
purchase
find your
index
Snorlaxes.
remained close to lows last seen in the spring of 2020 when a significant portion of activity was put on hold due to the onset of this pandemic. Currently, higher rates,
Any
low
house.
inventory, and high prices are keeping
We
prospective
can turn it
buyers
into that.
out
That's
of the
that's
market.
not so much
In
the
regards to
issue
this
in the
purchase
cul-de-sac
index,
or the
decreasing
neighborhood
to
or
levels we have not
around
seen
town or are
the
trying to
spring of
figure out how to drive
2020.
this thing.
Have a look at this. This is according to the Mortgage News Daily again.
For
The dotted lines in this chart represent current levels
Duct tape,
for rates and
hack,
applications as
tremble
well.
bits.
As you can see here, over the past, what is this? This is the past 10 years, mortgage rates have been increasing greatly. So
whole
approximately in August of 2000,
300 pages here,
I'm
trying to figure it out.
Rates right now are approximately
Get into the
5.3%.
game.
And here's
Put
purchase
my treasure
applications
chest
over
in
the
it,
last
thinking
10
about
years.
what it's all
So
about,
as you
just
can see
looking
here,
at
rates, of
Pandora
course,
here,
increased
right?
greatly in the
Shitty
last
queen.
half of 2021, and then also this year, of course, as well. And the purchase index basically was peaking in around January of this year, and it has fallen
has
greatly
this.
ever since then. So right
Climb
now,
the ladder,
this
river.
dotted line right here is
Sing
current
some.
levels.
Houses
Index is at
out here, bunny rabbits,
225
wolves,
right now.
white pawn and black
The
pawn.
lowest levels we had since about May of 2020.
We'll get more
Before
into that
it was
subject matter in a
approximately
minute.
The last half
Here
of
we go. This'll work.
2018, where we had levels this low. And here's another graphic to show you guys regarding this change of the purchase index over time here. So this is over the last 5 years.
Oh,
right
yeah,
now, as you can
baby.
see,
You know what
the
this
purchase
is.
index has been basically
This is a landscape
decreasing
and
this
map
year as
quote.
mortgage rates
One
have
of
been
you could be a
decreasing greatly.
landscaper. Maybe
And
you're
look at this
just going
graphic
around
here,
the super of
purchase
this
index
house.
is at 225
Maybe she needs a
right now.
hardscaping
The lowest
job in
levels
there. You
since
know,
May
get
4th,
plant a
2020,
mushroom.
when the purchase index
What do you got?
was
Mario mushroom, a
220.
fire flower,
Also,
and
it makes sense
a
when
star
mortgage rates
there.
have been increasing
Tulips.
approximately 2 percentage points.
Of course, moving
this
in
year
and
alone.
blueprinting.
Of course, it makes
Of
sense that
course,
we're gonna
house
see less
moving.
people
Whether
submit
they're
loan
what are you
applications to buy
doing here
houses, of
against?
course. Another positive
standard
trend though that
models
we're seeing in our
and what you putting
marketplace
in it.
is the share of people
They
submitting loan
they for sure
applications
gonna pay that one back.
for using adjustable rate mortgages.
make sure they have one
so
of
the
these.
adjustable rate mortgage or the ARM share of activity actually decreased to 9.4% of
Well,
total
there you are.
applications. Again, these are mortgage
You
applications.
get there.
Approximately
Here you are.
2 weeks ago, this rate was
make
approximately
another move.
11%.
Oh,
So the
trouble.
rate has been decreasing,
Hi, Bones.
which is a positive sign. We don't want to see a lot of people
No,
submitting
not
loan
Bones, but
applications with ARMs.
for all intents and
But
purposes,
the
sure.
levels right now are about 3 times the levels since the beginning of this year, though.
but-
And changing gears slightly, let's talk about what the Fed had
Somewhere
to say
along that
in our
course of the
last meeting,
hydrogen
which
gambit
occurred
for the first
approximately
time.
3 weeks ago. This is because they just released their minutes from that meeting
All right,
today.
and
at the
come
time of
back
this
at
video.
you. My
It
second
says here the Fed
assay
minutes
test
point to
on can I
more
flip
rate
this
hikes
house.
that
I'm
go
ready.
further than the market
I got tools. They're
anticipates.
in the
By
shed.
the
They're
way,
ready
we're
to
not talking
go.
about mortgage
Bang.
rates. We're
Hi,
talking
hi,
about
you
the
fresh.
federal funds rate, which is controlled by the Federal Reserve. This
down
is
here
the
and check my
short-term
butt.
rate that banks charge each
Well,
other
it depends
to
on
lend money to
The
each
gambit
other.
we're
This
playing.
is
House
not tied directly
building,
to
pretty
mortgage rates,
easy.
though.
Assay
It says here that the Fed is
management,
prepared to
and
move
then
ahead with multiple
doing
50
some
basis
things
points
against
interest
under-sector
rate increases,
analysis.
this
And then
year.
they're commissioning
Federal
me to
Reserve
do a
officials
type of
earlier this
sector
month stressed
analysis,
the need to
or
raise interest
I
rates
invert that the
quickly
need
and
under the
possibly
system
more than markets
needs
anticipate.
a
It goes on to say the following
sector
here.
analysis
Not
under the
only did
model.
policymakers see
Throw
the
on
need
my
to
black
increase
hat, my white
benchmark
hat,
borrowing rates,
my
that's the federal
yellow
funds
hard
rate,
hat,
by
whatever's
50
necessary
points,
at the
but
time.
they also said similar rate hikes likely would be necessary at the next several meetings this year.
Minor 49.
It also says market pricing currently sees the Fed moving to a policy rate of around 2.5 to 2.75%
wish I got
by
on
the
Blue
end of
Barn.
the year.
I was
Again,
like,
this is for
"Nah."
the federal funds rate. So what they basically mean here is that the market is already pricing in the
There
federal
was
funds
a
rate
couple
to
of
be at
pingers. You're like,
2.5 to
all right, yeah, you happy
2.75%
little
by the
animals.
end
I
of
get
this
it.
year. So in other words, the 10-year U.S. Treasury note, which is tied loosely to mortgage rates, have already priced in the fact that the Fed is going to be increasing the federal funds rate through the end of the year. And this target range for the federal funds rate is consistent where they view this as a neutral rate.
Did you graph it?
Statements in
Did
the
you go
minutes, though,
Terminator
indicate
Gambit
the
with
committee is
Bones?
prepared to go
Probably why
beyond
you're
there.
losing.
And as the Fed moves to a policy to a neutral posture, the Fed is going to be increasing, of course, the federal
Whoa,
funds rate
whoa, whoa, whoa.
and also
Moving in.
reducing the
Both
size
off
of
in
the
here.
Federal Reserve
Concrete
balance
floor,
sheet,
floor pour.
mortgage-backed securities,
Well,
and
cubic
treasury
feet
bonds.
on the
Also, it's
concrete
interesting to
pour
see that the
to
minutes,
the whatever
mentioned
XYZ
inflation
you
60
need.
times
And then
in
you
their
get the footer,
meeting
right?
minutes.
And then you got some
Also, they
walls.
said officials remain committed to
capstone on
raising
that
rates
thing.
and
Put you
reducing
in.
the balance sheet. The minutes stated that
Or
doing
something
so
like that.
would leave the Fed well
Alright, this is the
positioned
overhead.
later this year
I'm
to
talking about,
reevaluate
there
the
was
policy
a,
effect
yeah,
of
a
having
layer on the
inflation.
floor or something. That's
Meanwhile,
what it
the
was.
yield on the 10-year
Well,
U.S.
you got
Treasury
the
note, which is
Gaussian
tied
wrong.
loosely to mortgage
Next
rates,
thing you know,
is sitting
the
at
Pharaoh's in the tomb
2.75%.
already, and
As you can see here, it has been decreasing ever since mid-May when we were at approximately 3%. So
And the
obviously
team
this
was
is
just
one
gonna
reason
keep
why
moving.
mortgage rates have been decreasing, because the yield on the 10-year U.S. Treasury note has been decreasing as well. So I
But
hope you
isn't
guys
it
got a
all-
lot of value out of today's video. If you did, then please
You
hit the
whipped
like
out the
button. Greatly
stubs,
appreciate
right?
that. Consider subscribing if you haven't done so
Yeah,
already.
John
Hope you have an
B.
awesome day. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.